Okay,
so
let's wrap it up.
Star Wars has definitely been one of my favorite mobile games. It's definitely a noble mobile. Mario Run is definitely a noble mobile.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my feelings on these mobile games we've been playing.
Oh, well, good. All right, well, up next, we're going to talk about Lemony Snicket. Hi, this is Nick from the Deadly Operative Grunts show. Are you or someone you love a nerd? There are many warning signs that you can look out for. Are they really good at math or science? Do they celebrate strange holidays like May the 4th, Winter Eansmas, or Hobbit Day? Do they have heated discussions about the difference between a light year and a parsec? Do they claim to catch invisible creatures by going outside and staring at their phones? Do they often solemnly swear that they're up to no good? Or do they answer every question with the number 42? All these might point to you or your loved one being a nerd. At Repop Gifts, they're here to help. With a wide variety of items and a selection of one-of-a-kind works of art, you won't want to leave. Need to try something on? Then use their wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey changing room. Great for birthdays, holidays, or just to add to your collection. Repop Gifts near the corner of 31st and State. All right, and we're back to talk about Lemony Snicket's Series of Unfortunate Events. Winner for the longest unnecessary title of all time.
Such a huge title.
And I do believe that they did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing that kind of, made me think for a second, I could have swore that Wes Anderson had something to do with this production. So I immediately went to Google. Wes Anderson, if you didn't know, he does Moonrise Kingdom, what's something Budapest? The Grand Budapest Hotel, The Glorious Mr. Fox or something like that. So he has a very particular style. It's very everything is blocked. The camera moves very like it's on a crane. Well, not a crane.
But a rail system.
A rail system. Mm-hmm. So it moves very purposely.
Okay.
And the entire series is like that. Yeah. You have a couple maybe crane shots and different, but almost the entire, I'd say anywhere from 85 to 90% of the series is Wes Anderson. So I looked up. He has nothing to do with this series. I thought he was going to be a producer. I thought he was going to be a screenplay. He has nothing to do with this. But whoever the director, they drew from Wes Anderson so much. And I believe that's why the comedy is the way it is. Because the Wes Anderson has a very particular type of comedy as well.
A little dry.
Mm-hmm. It's very dry. Sometimes there's nothing going on for a very long time. But when something does happen, you laugh your ass off.
Yeah.
And that's how Series of Unfortunate Events is. And I think that's what makes it a slightly hard watch, is that there is a lot of dark and dreary stuff. Mm-hmm. But when something funny happens, it's really funny.
It's really funny.
And I'd say one negative / positive, I can't decide, is Neil Patrick Harris himself. He does a very good
Olaf.
Mm-hmm. And he does a really good job, but then the negative is nobody else gets up to his level.
No, he literally is. It's not over the top.
I mean, it is.
Well,
in the right ways, though.
Yeah. It's over the top in the right ways, and you're right. Nobody. I mean, the kid actors. I mean, you can't expect too much from the kids because they're supposed to be played by depressed children who just lost their parents. Mm-hmm. the neighbor lady. I can't remember her actual name.
But the judge.
The judge lady.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I think she does pretty well as playing her character.
Yeah.
It's kind of over the toppy. Like, she's super dreamy about being an actress.
Right.
And she's totally blind to what Olaf is actually doing.
Which is like every freaking parent, which it gets to the point where it's just like, you can't be that stupid.
You can't.
Nobody.
You can't.
One singular person can be that stupid, like the banker. He can be that stupid. Yeah. But every single adult in the entire series being that stupid...
Just... Bloop.
It's like, that is Neil Patrick Harris in a dress. It looks like Neil Patrick Harris in a freaking dress. How do you not freaking see this?
One of my favorite lines is the kid goes, "That's Count Olaf. He shaved his eyebrows."
Right. And I mean... so back to Neil Patrick Harris. He does a really good job, and almost to the point, like I said, that it's just nobody gets up to that same level. So I think there are a lot of jokes that land, and he has nothing to do with it, so that's good. But I really feel like everything hinges on whether or not he gives a good performance.
I agree with that. Mm-hmm. And actually, that kind of is fitting to what his character is, being the actor, the Count Olaf.
Right. And I did notice something I wanted to bring up, is that there's a couple of parts, and, it's partly meta and partly, him, but there's a certain part, like, you can see it in the trailer, so it's not like I'm giving anything away, but he does the hourglass thing.
Yeah.
And so he comes back up, and he uses his normal Neil Patrick Harris voice. He's like, sorry, I guess it goes down a lot faster than I got it from... You're going to have to flip it a couple of times. But it's totally Neil Patrick Harris saying that. And so I actually kind of like that. It added a little bit more depth to his character, because then Count Olaf is a character.
Yes.
He is a character. He's trying to be somebody that he's not. He's being eccentric. He's actually trying to be that way.
He is, yes.
So, and I thought that just doing that actually added a little bit more depth.
He's an actor overreacting.
Right.
Or actor overacting is what it is. Yes. And you're absolutely right. I think he does well at that. Even his croonies, his troupe.
Oh, they're pretty funny. And the hook guy in particular can be funny because, like...
He's got hooks for hands.
Well,
I mean...
Not only that, and he gets into weird situations because he's trying to, like, handle something and he can't because he has hooks for hands. Especially this one part, he's trying to get the walkie and it's just so funny. Like, I think... They told the guy, get your walkie, and then they just let the camera roll, and of course the guy is trying as hard as he can to get the...
I actually felt the same way about it. I think my favorite one is when it's early on in the season. It's like first or second episode. They made Olaf and his troupe dinner, so they made like spaghetti basically. And the kids are going around from person to person. They're all dishing their own thing out, and they get up to the guy with the hooks, and he's like... He's like, oh. Right. And I really enjoyed that because it adds, that's like the slapstick.
Right.
I mean, that's like the, bam, there's the humor. And,
right.
And it is, like I said, glass of water, that's dry humor. Mm-hmm. Get a glass of water with it. It's still good.
Right. Yeah, I do believe that sums up the entire series. I mean, we kind of jumped here and there, but I do believe that kind of sums it up.
The series jumps here and there, too.
Yeah. But I think that kind of sums it up, is the fact that, yes, you're going to have a lot of dry moments, but then when it does get interesting, it gets so interesting that it does kind of make up for it.
And you do feel for the kids. I mean, they did do a good job in capturing your emotion for at least caring for the characters.
Right.
Because I find myself caring for them.
So, the hugest negative, I absolutely hate it every time I see it. The kid, apparently they just decided to CG her face onto a doll, like,
the baby?
90% of the time.
The baby?
Yeah, 90% of the time, it's not the baby, it's just a CG face. So, Violet is just carrying around a freaking doll 90% of the time, and it's the kid's face. And I did realize this. If you look at the credits, the beginning credits, there's only one baby. It's not like Mary Kate and Ashley, or in Raising Hope, it's two babies.
Yeah.
So they only had one baby. And the only thing I could think of is that it was such an unruly baby that they couldn't get anything good out of it. So they just CG'd like 90% of her stuff.
We checked your diaper 5 times. There's nothing good. Oh, shit, I say.
It was really infuriating because there were some times where literally all she was doing was sitting on a chair
or a table
or in a little box or something, and it was a CG face. It's
and
like, you can't get a baby to freaking sit in a freaking record. I can get a baby to sit in a freaking record.
And the thing is like, and when you're watching the CG face, it's so unmatched.
Right.
Like sometimes like you can literally see a pigmentation difference between the face and the actual skin of whatever
because
they're
they don't
using.
get the lighting right,
or like I think it was like the 3rd episode where like the baby who's doing his thing and like instead of like mouthing like it normally did, it looked like it was twitching. Like, I'm like, that's not no.
And see, for those parts, it would make sense to CG the mouth,
sure,
but like the entire scene with it just sitting there and all it's doing is this.
Yeah.
She's not reacting to what's going on around her. She has no idea.
I don't think it blinked.
I mean, probably not. It was so unnerving to just see this kid staring into your freaking soul.
You don't have one now. It done took it.
I mean, that was just my hugest negative. It's just every time that goddamn kid was on the screen, like every once in a while, you would see and you could tell it was the real kid. It's like, why can't you do that more often?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So let's stop ragging on it.
Not an infuriating thing. I do love this about the show is the pictorial differences between different areas and scenarios. Typically, when Count Olaf is involved, it's always dark. Or at least dimmer. But whenever they're over with the judge, it's super bright and flowery and colorful. When they're on the train, bright, flowery, colorful. The moment Olaf shows up, shadows casted upon it. And I love that.
Right.
I love that feel.
I love the visual storytelling.
Yes.
And that's what I like about the Wes Anderson style of filmmaking. Because that's definitely one thing that he does a lot of. And I mean, so I like that aspect of it. I like that it's inspired. And it does enough different where it's not like, oh, that's just Wes Anderson. They're ripping him off. I don't think they're ripping him off. I do feel like it's a genuine inspiration.
Maybe like a nod even.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So on our rating scale, must see, rent. Well, we can't do rent. So do you think people should waste like
1 month price of subscription for Netflix? I wouldn't buy Netflix just for this show.
Okay.
Not me personally.
Not me personally either.
But
a little secret, I got a month for free just to watch this show.
A little secret, I've got 2 years for free for doing an online email survey.
So
I actually did. I'm actually down to my last like $18 or like $16 or whatever it is.
Oh, really?
I have like enough to pay for like 2 more months of it, and I'm like, fuck, then I'm gonna have to pay for this again.
Oh man! Hopefully it'll come out before, or hopefully you'll be able to see the next Daredevil.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm also excited for Netflix. I know this is off topic, but there was an anime series called The 7 Deadly Sins.
That was good.
That was way
God.
Good. Way good. And we're getting another one.
Nice.
Boom. But back to Lemony Snicket.
Not the Lemony Snicket. So we could both agree.
If you have Netflix, put it on your watch list.
Right, definitely. But if you don't and you're wondering if you should get it, maybe just wait. You know, maybe there'll be like a free coupon that you get in your email or something like. I would do it for that.
Give it 3 months. It'll be on YouTube for free.
Right. You know, our point is don't get
footsie with
yeah,
me?
just
I
a
like
little.
That.
Don't get Redbox Netflix.
Don't get Redbox Netflix because that's just a ripoff.
So don't get Netflix just for this because I do feel like it's not. And I know it's technically free because you have all these other movies to watch. I don't know. I mean, that's hard. Yeah. Just don't get it specifically for this. Get it because...
get Netflix, get it because you know of at least 10 other things you can watch.
Get it for Orange is the New Black. Get it for Daredevil.
Yes.
Get it for the new series that I talked about.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. Get it for the other one, Santa Clara
Karita Diet, the
Yep.
one with Drew Barrymore I was talking at the beginning.
If
Get
you
it
like-
for that. That
if
looks
you
really
like
good.
Kung Fu movies, get it for Kung Fu movies.
True,
They
yeah.
actually have a... I didn't realize this. I watched IP Man the other day, and I was like, I haven't actually seen it, Ip Man, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'd never seen it, and I got it and watched it for the first time, fell in love with it, and then I was like, oh, let's see what other kind of Kung Fu. They've got a crap ton of Kung Fu, and they're over-the-top cheesy Kung Fu like
Right.
you would want. Like the Monkey King.
Right. So yeah, don't get it just for it, you know, but I mean, we still really like it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I guess we got to wrap it up here.
Yeah. Quickly,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Oh crap.
Or-
I almost forgot about that.
Neil Patrick Harris.
That's a really good question.
They both play Olaf almost too well.
Yeah. I think just because we have more time with them, I'm going to have to say Neil Patrick Harris because we're able to see him grow and we're able to get more of him.
And he's got that... I mean, Jim Carrey had the face too, but I think Neil Patrick is fitting more to the character.
Yeah.
And because Jim Carrey has always been a chameleon. He can play a lot of different things, but there are things that he stepped his feet into, and it's kind of like... He doesn't seem forced, but it just doesn't seem natural.
Yeah.
For him. Whereas Neil Patrick Harris, it's like, oh yeah, no, he's a total scumbag.
Yeah.
You know, and it works for me.
Yeah.
Overall, acting-wise, I prefer Jim Carrey's reactions to certain things better than Neil Patrick Harris's. But like you said, having more time with Neil Patrick Harris, I have more of a feel for his character.
Right.
So
Definitely. So that's what we think. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. That's it for us. Make sure we'll be starting our Top 10 Tuesdays in February. So we're really excited about those. We're really excited to get that started again. Obviously, we have our Wampa Fruit Wednesdays. Check us out on Facebook and YouTube at Deadly Operative Grunts. On Twitter at Deadly Op Grunts. And make sure to leave us a like. If we get to the 50, like I said, we'll do $50 giveaway to somebody random. So all you have to do is be subscribed, like our video, share it so that we can get as many likes as we can.
even if you have 50 different electronic devices in your house and a different YouTube account on each device, like it on all of them. You could still win.
No.
You don't tell them they can't cheat the system. Trump is president. We cheat all we want.
Okay. So that's it for us at the Deadly Operative Grunts. And we're feeling squirrely.
Super squirrely.
Triple threat.